Hi everybody, I'm so excited to read you this new book. It's called How Rocket Learned to Read. This is Rocket. He's a puppy. He doesn't even know about reading. And this is his teacher. Let's find out what happens. Rocket loved to play. He loved to chase sticks and to chew sticks, and he loved to listen to the birds sing. Every fall morning, after chasing the leaves, Rocket would lie down on his favorite spot, under his favorite tree, and then he would sniff the neighborhood smells and settle in for a good nap. But one day, a little yellow bird startled Rocket. "Aha! My first student! Wonderful!" she sang. Rocket was confused. "Student? I'm not a student." "But if I'm your teacher, then you're my student," the bird interrupted. Rocket found it hard to argue with the bird. "I'm so glad you saw my sign," the bird chirped. "Oh, I can see it," said Rocket, "but I don't know how to read." The sign said, "Class starts today." "Can't read? Fantastic!" She waved a wing. "Welcome to my classroom." "But I just came here to nap," Rocket said. "Oh, no. There will be no napping in my class," declared the bird. "Except, of course, during nap time." "Well, then, I'll just take a nap over there," said Rocket. "I've had a very busy morning." "Not to worry. I'll be around every day," chirped the bird, "until the weather turns." As Rocket breathed in the crisp air, the little yellow bird hung her banner. "Ah, the wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet," she marveled, "where it all begins." Opening a book, the bird began to read. She sang of a story of an unlucky dog named Buster who'd lost his favorite bone. A cool breeze carried her lively voice across the yard. At first, Rocket was disturbed, but before long, he found himself captivated. That means he was very interested. To Rocket, the story was as delicious as the earthy smells of fall. It was as exciting as chasing leaves. He closed his eyes and listened to every word. "As Buster dug and dug under the lilac bush," the bird read, he felt something familiar." Rocket waited. Was it the bone? He wondered, but there was silence. "Was it the bone?" he called out to the bird, but there was more silence. "Was it the bone?" he called out. Suddenly, he was rushing to the tree. "What was it?" But the little yellow bird was gone. The next morning, Rocket arrived early. On the tree was a sign that said, "Word of the day, dog." At last, the little yellow bird appeared. "Hello! How wonderful to see you in class," she chirped. "I can tell by your waggy tail you are well rested." "I'd like to hear the end of the story, please," said Rocket. "That seems like a fine way to start the day," chirped the bird. She gave Rocket a name tag. It said Rocket. And then she began to read. Every day, Rocket returned to the little yellow bird's classroom. One day, the sign said, butterfly. And the next day, the bird taught him a new letter, like L for leaves and W for worm, until he had learned all of the wondrous, mighty, glorious alphabet. Together, they sang out the sounds that each letter makes, and they spelled out the sounds they heard around them. With a G and a they spelled Mr. Barker's growl. Grrr. They spelled the sound of the wind, which was growing colder by the day. Whoosh. Soon, they were reading words like fall, for the gusty time of year, and red, for the color of the leaves. And each afternoon, the bird read a story. She read stories about dogs and about birds. She read about leaves changing colors and about birds flying south for the winter. Then one day, the weather changed and the letter banner disappeared. "I'll see you again in the glorious spring," she sang. And as she flew off into the wintry sky, she called, "Don't forget, words are built one letter at a time." The days grew shorter and the leaves fell from the trees and the grass got crunchy. And soon Rocket's classroom disappeared under a white blanket of snow. Then he remembered the little yellow bird's alphabet, so he practiced. A, B, C. Rocket thought about the bird's sweet chirp while he sounded out words like d, e, g, dig, and w, e, and wind, and cold, cold. He made new friends and he taught them how to spell their names. "Hello, Emma." "Hi there, Fred," he said to Emma and Fred. He spelled everything. S, a, n, elt, melt. When he spelled d, mud, he knew that spring had returned as it always does. The breeze grew warmer and the grass grew greener, and one day the sign was back. "Class starts tomorrow." Early the next morning, Rocket rushed to the classroom, and as he waited, he spelled w-a-g, w-a-g, whack, whack, whack. Soon the little yellow bird arrived. "Ah, my star student," she said. "How wonderful to see you. I can tell by your waggy tail you are ready for class." The sign said, "Welcome back, Rocket." Then together they began to read. They read stories about birds flying north in the spring, and they read about picnics in the warm sun, and they read about Buster, the lucky dog who found his bone under the lilac bush. When they were done, they read it again and again and again and A-G-A-I-N again. And now Rocket loves books, just like I do, and I know you do too.